All right, so I am going to, this is for my group. We're going to work on paper pumpkin alternatives for the March 2022. And here's the, on the screen is the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards that I have made. And I've got instructions for y'all too. Now I will start this. These cards all came from basically they're all from Rachel Tessman. She does really good paper pumpkin alternatives. So all of these are variations from what she had. So I will go ahead and start. I'm just going to walk through them. So that way when you get to when we put everything together, you'll kind of have a heads up as to what you're going to be doing. So let me get to our screen now. So the first one is going to be using one card. You can do it a couple different ways. So the first one is like this. Let's see if I can put it up to the screen. It is like this. Hello is what we're going to do. Okay, so you're going to take the card that has like the herringbone type pattern, and for the first one you're going to take your card like it is, and you're actually going to trim right here. Okay, you're going to trim it at like 1 5/8 inch. You're going to trim it right down. So what that's going to do is you're going to take that bottom piece, it's going to get taped or adhesive to the bottom. Oh, it's a little bit of a glare. So there will be adhesive, put it on the bottom, and then then it's pretty easy. You're going to just be folding it over, right? So once you get that stripped down, you're also going to take this leaf. I don't know if you call it a leaf, but that's what you're going to take. And you're going to cut. You don't need the whole thing, so you're going to cut it. I would cut 1, 2, 3, like about 3 down. You cut it like either here or even go a little further and cut it here. And then you have some still left of the other half, and you could use it for another card. So I tucked in that piece. As you can tell, I used the top part of it and I tucked it in. Okay, so that's that. Now you can take the blue strip that's in the kit, this one here, and you're going to cut it in half. So it is going to be, what do I have? 1 3/4 will be half of it. So either you can eye it and cut it, or you can cut it on a trimmer. So what's going to happen is one blue piece will go here, the other blue piece will go here, because it's not long enough to go across. And you're going to cover that up with this big label in the middle. So the next option would be is if you wanted to use the yellow ribbon that came on here. You do need like 16 inches of it, and then you're going to knot it. You're not going to bow it. I will say ahead of time, if you do that, it does take quite a bit. This is all I have left, and I've only made one bow on another card. So don't be deceived by this roll, because you get very little. So if you do one at 16 inches, you're probably going to only have enough for one more, and you're not going to have any left for bows. So I would actually just do it on one card if you really like it, save the rest for bows, then maybe you could even, instead of doing a whole full wrap, put a bow on the edge of this label, okay? So that's explained. You take this big 6-point label that you, I think there's only 3. And what I did is I stamped hello. So in the kit comes this Misty Moonlight. I don't have Misty Moonlight, so I found an old stamp color blueberry bushel. So find a blue that you like. The other thing you can do is, if you don't want to use that Stampin' Spot, you can use that or use black. Black will work with I think just about all of these. But I did use blue for all of them, just because I wanted to kind of show you could use everything in your kit and you won't have to get a lot of extra supplies out of your store. Storage or whatever. This yellow hello is going to, as you can see, it does go over, so it's partially is going to go over the bottom. So you want to only have dimensionals on basically the top half, and then you're going to place it in the middle of the 2 blues. So that is one card. It's super easy to do. Now what you can do for taking this card and making it into something else is you're going to, in quite a few of these cards, let me put this up again. Maybe not. All right, so quite a few of these cards that we have left. What you're going to do is you're going to double your cards by, you can see my hand here, by cutting these main faces, and you're going to cut them in half. So when you do that, you're going to put it in the paper trimmer. You're going to cut at the seam. So you want to be careful because sometimes the blade gets stuck on that seam, so you want to either get it right on or you want to get just a little to the edge, but because you're using the face part, you're going to want to have it to the edge closer to you, the face of the card you're going to use. So after you've trimmed that off, as you can see, we are cutting it and making 2 cards out of this, and because this has some white on both sides, when you cut in half, you want the white to be over here. So that way you can make a little bit of a trim from the herringbone pattern and have that on the edge. So you're going to cut in half. Then when you get that cut in half, you're going to flip it, and then you're going to take 1/4 of an inch trimmed here, and then 1/4 of an inch trimmed on the other inside part. Half of this, after you've cut it in half of the face of this is, let me flip my pager here. Half is at 2 1/8 because you've got 4 1/4. And you want half of that, which is 2 1/8, and then you're going to take 1/4 inch on the inside of each. Then you're going to flip them, and then you're going to tape the big part. You're going to maybe take a ruler if you want and gauge it. This one is going to be about 3/4 of an inch from your edge. All right. Then you're going to take this strip and put it in between the 2. So you're going to want to use the mini dimensionals that come in the kit for the mini strip. The bigger piece, you can use your adhesive. You can also use your mono glue That to me is more messier for me. So I'd use the mini dots. Then you're going to take half, so you can take the other half of your leaf here. You can take the other half of that, and then you're going to take the small 6-point label from your kit and stamp whatever. I use the one "I will always be here for you." There is a few different things. That one I've worked. The "Thinking of You" is too big. That won't work on there. "I will always be here for you" would work. I think that's it. Unless you want to use one of the small ones. I just like that one, so I used it. Or you can use your own. You put the leaf behind it, you tuck it in there. This is set up with dimensionals. Now, just remember that you want to put dimensionals in both edges and in the middle. Otherwise, it's just going to flop up and down. Then you've got a whole sheet full of these in your kit. So just use some of your rhinestones to decorate your card. I put 2, you can use 3. So that is the 2 variations to that card. And so then what you could do with your third one, either make one more full card like this, or you could do another 2 of this. So you could end up with 4 of these, or you could end up with 2 of these and 2 of these, if that makes sense. I picked a blue. Black is always standard easy color you can do. Just remember, if you use black, you need to put some type of white cardstock on the inside so you can write on it. So that's those 2 cards. Now let me go over to the next one real quick, which is this one. Okay, a little note. All right, so okay, let's try this. Okay, a little note. There you go. So you are going to take the card that has this mountain scene. You want the mountain scene. So now, once you've done this, where you've cut it in half and use the little strip, you're going to use that for the next 2 cards. So you can end up actually making 6 of each of them, because there's 3 cards with the same picture. So you double it, you can make 6 of these if you want. I think it's cute. I think it's, personally, I like the idea of having more cards. If you don't have someone to personally send them to, you can definitely, I will take 4 together and bundle them with some ribbon, put them in a little envelope and send them off to some friends. That's what I do, and I can use up my cards that way if I want to kind of keep my rotation of different cards. So you're going to do the same. You cut the edge, keep this white piece, because then you can cut it down and use it on an insert of a dark colored card base. So you're going to take half of this, which is 2 1/8 of an inch. Then what you're going to do is, you've got your scenery is in the middle, but you don't want scenery on this little edge. You're going to use just the white, because then what you're going to do is each edge has a little bit of white. So if you take a 1/4 of an inch here and then a 1/4 of an inch there, you'll have a white strip to go with each half. So I measured in at 3/4 from the edge, to put the big strip. Then I eyeballed the mini strip between that and the edge of the card. Okay, so you're going to end up with some extra pieces in your kit that you're not using that you can flip over and make into extra labels. So this one here is actually, the other side of it is the camel colored strip, and I don't know if it's like a coral color or what. I flipped it over, I stamped a little note on there. I took the blue strip, cut it in half, and then snipped it at an angle. I put that down, and then I put a little note over the top of it. Again, remember, you're going to want dimensionals all the way through. Another way you could do it, you could put dimensionals in the first half and then take a glue dot and keep that one down to the base here. I put a rhinestone. You can use ribbon if you are going to have enough. Like I said, it's not very much, so if you need a lot of ribbon when you make your bows, you probably are gonna want to wait and then kind of space it out with the cards and figure out which ones you want ribbon with. So this one, very easy, and you can make 6 cards out of that one. Okay, so the next card is this one. This one's super cute. This one I thought looked best on black, but if you choose a different one, go ahead with a different color if you want. The scenery has tons of different colors. So this one is the card that has the water colored look to it. Okay, again, you're going to cut it in half. The white piece you will put to the side and cut it down for an inside. Now what you can do with this white piece once it's cut is you can take it and then cut it in half and then use each half on the inside, but that doesn't give you a lot of writing room, so I would rather take it, cut it down to, it would be 4 by 5 1/4 to put it on the inside, and then use white cardstock to finish off whatever extras you have. So the other thing you need with this card is this zigzaggedy dark green piece, and you want to cut that in half so you can either eye it. There's this one that's a point, and you would cut it right there. You can eye it and cut it, or you can put it on your paper trimmer, and it would be at, let me flip to the right page, it would be at 1 3/4 inch would be the middle of it, and everything's in your instructions, but this is just a quick view of everything as well. So that would be cut in half. Now, as you can see, you're going to have, this would be one solid edge and one solid edge. So you're going to, one piece is going to have, your solid edge is going to be to the left of your label, and the other side is going to be to the right. This one here is to the right. So my next card, I would put this over to the left of my label. Now for this, I didn't want to waste, this was actually a larger strip. It was 4 1/4 by 1, and it had the polka dots on it. I cut it in half to make it 2 1/8. Yeah, cut in half at 2 1/8, and you make 2 labels. Or 2, yeah, which one? I use the Thinking of You. That one does fit on that one. Use Thinking of You with that one. So this one, you take the circle and okay, now this one has, when you look at the circle, there is kind of rainbow looks. So you want to cut pretty much in the middle. I would use the scissors, cut straight across. And if you're not exact, it's not a big deal because you're going to be tucking it behind your label. So no one's going to know if one got a little bigger than the other. But if you try to cut it on your paper trimmer, most likely you're going to end up ripping it when you get to these middle little loops. So I would just cut it. And you are going to have a couple little pieces that don't stay on. So whatever. You're going to attach your label to your zigzag. I did that straight on at heat, flat to flat. Then I underneath, I did put dimensionals on the back side, and then you go towards the bottom you go in about 1/3 and put it in, and then you're gonna tuck this in. So what you do to tuck that in and get that in there is on the back side, on the very bottom, I would take 3, if you can fit 4 mini glue dots. Now they're actually, you're gonna see them, but because you're tucking it behind the sign or the label, once you tuck it in and press it down, I would use your bone folder, just kind of go in. This is what I did. I went in underneath with my bone folder and I went and pressed it down that way, because that's flat to your card. So that's how I did it. I used 3 glue dots on the bottom, went under, sealed it down with my bone folder, okay? Now here I did use some ribbon to make a bow. So if you were to, this card makes 6, and if you were to make 6 bows, you're gonna probably take quite a bit of what's left here. That might be the rest of this ribbon, okay? So you can do what you want. If you don't want to use, if you run out of ribbon, then use some of your dimensionals, or not dimensionals, your rhinestones, okay? So that's that card. That we're done with. Okay, let's move this over. I just love that watercolor look on that. Okay. Now we get to the envelopes. There are 3 designs on the envelopes. Now, when you look at them, because there's designs on them, you can cut them down just like you do for designer series paper, and so that's what I did. So you're going to take your envelope. We're going to start with this one here. Okay. This one has the prairie grass or whatever. You're going to take the yellow envelope that has the herringbone pattern on the inside. So you're going to take it on your trimmer. I really like the Stampin' Up! Trimmer, especially for stuff like this, because it's easy to see your measurements. So you're going to take, you want the flat side right here. See, you're going to put the flat side there, and we've done this before, but I'm just going to show you anyway. So you're going to take it and you want it at 7/8 of an inch. So with this trimmer, I see the 1 inch over here and then all the little tick marks. So then I need to go just the second tick mark before the 1 is the 7/8 inch. So you go down here and you want it seal. You want a really good seal of that envelope, because you're going to go over it, and because some of it's a little wonky, you want your blade to go through. So you want to be real assertive when you do it. You don't want to go too hard, but you want to make sure you're doing it at a steady pace. Maybe that's a better way to put it. Then, now that you've done that side, Then you're going to flip it over, keep it on the flat, and go 7/8 of an inch and cut it again. Okay, so now your inside is going to be this. I've already cut a second envelope, but let me show you what it. This one I found a yellow to go with it, which looks pretty neat. I think I wrote down which yellow on the notes. I used, and I write it down as bright yellow. Oh, so saffron. So the inside of your envelope, you're going to have your herringbone, but then you have on each side, like your herringbone side, you're going to have, here's your gummed part of the envelope. So then you take that on your trimmer, and because now you have 4 inches here, right? Got 4 inches. So you can see there's 4 inches. So this side, you're going to take that, you're going to trim it right where the gummed part ends, so you don't have any of that on your card. So now you've got that trimmed, and you've got it fully opened. You actually only need, of this pattern, what did I write down? 1 3/4 of an inch, okay? So then you're going to put it in your paper trimmer, cut 1 3/4 inch, and this is going to be the bottom of your card. Then you're going to flip it over to the yellow side, and what you need is 5 1/4. You've already got your 4 inches, right? Okay, so you're going to have on the other side, you're going to have this side here, this rounded, you're going to have a rounded edge, and it's going to be, you definitely are going to cut there. So I would put this on your paper trimmer, and that when this hits 5 1/4 inches, then you're going to slice off the rest of it, okay? It's up to you if you want to keep that piece and try to use it with another card or something. I didn't keep that part of it, but that's what that is with there. So now you're going to take on your card, you're going to take the yellow. The yellow goes down first because it's the full, and it's going to go down like that, okay? So now you're going to take your grass, and you can use monolule if you want. I, again, used the mini glue dots. So on the back side, I put a mini glue dot on each piece of the tall grass and a couple down towards the bottom, okay? So then you want to go a little bit over from the edge. You want to get it, you don't have to have it touching the top, but kind of close. So like that, right? And I'm going to press it down and put it in there. Seal its fate, we'll put it that way. Then you take your herringbone pattern. It doesn't really matter which way you do it, but it's up to you. See this one on your yellow, there's going to be a fold line. That's just natural from your envelope. Put the fold line towards the bottom, because then you can cover it up with your herringbone pattern. You are going to have a little bit of a fold line on the herringbone pattern, but not that much. I would put the smaller area with the fold line, put that up towards the top. You're going to cover over your grass, but you're going to butt it up to the very bottom of the yellow and cover over, see? Okay, so that's easy enough to figure out. Then I took, what did I take? One of the longer white labels, and I think there was 4 of them, and I put in, I got out of another Special Moments is what I used. I put hang in there, and because I've got probably about 3 people that I could put a hang in their card send to, so I put that on there. And because I don't worry too much about centering it, I kind of put it over more towards the right edge. Then I did took my scissors and cut a little angle, but you can do whatever, because you can hang in there is not part of there, but there's congratulations, which is a small one, a little note, and on your secondary stamps that you got in the kit, where did I put them? Oh, here. There is time to celebrate. That would fit too if you used a small label, or you can pick any other label or any other stamp and make your own label. Okay, so I put dimensionals underneath. Remember, again, you want solid, so I took some of my edges of my dimensionals and cut that off and then put that on the bottom and use that. And then I put 2 rhinestones. You can do whatever. You might even choose to do ribbon with this, but you don't have to. So I did put the label kind of hanging over both pieces of colored paper, colored designer series paper, I'm going to call it. So that looked super cute. That's that one. Then you only have 3 envelopes, so you will have 3 cards. Okay, super cute. All right, now let's go to the next envelope that I have. Okay, this one, for the label, you may choose to make another one of these original card, if I can get it from sliding, and make another label for this instead. So if you do, you take away another label choice, but there's 2 sides to this. The other side is totally white, as you can see, so you can stamp something on either side. I did hello. Another option would be celebrate. I just don't really have a purpose for the word celebrate right now, so I chose hello again, and I did the blue. You could pick a color stamp pad that might be a different color, a green or whatever. So that's how that label goes. But let me go through the process of the envelope, okay? This envelope, so I found a green cardstock to use, but I didn't have any more green. Another color that goes well with this, because it's not really a yellow, I found a mango. That looks awesome. Mango. All right, think of fruit. So now you're going to do the exact same way of cutting this envelope on the edges, right? But as you can see, there is a lot more of your inner card on the bottom here than this first one we just did, right? So you're going to have, the dimensions are still going to be 4 inches, but you're going to have a lot more of the green for your bottom, okay? So once you cut it, again, you will cut off the gummed area again. So then the best strategy would be to go with the green pattern right away, and when you get to the green pattern, you are going to cut it at 3 inches. So you want 3 inches of the green, okay? That will give you plenty of yellow to make an entire 5 1/4 piece. It's always going to be 4 inches this way, but you got 5 1/4 this way, okay? So you're going to cut 5 1/4. This seam here is going to end up kind of in the middle, so it doesn't really matter because your green leafy thing is going to be over that seam. So now this one, you want to use the green piece here that came in the supplies. Okay, so, oh, and here's that label. Let me pull this out to show you. So you've got the marbled yellow and then you've got solid white. I don't know if I like it all white. You know, it's up to you. I actually liked the yellow instead of the white. So that's personal choice. And again, if you've used all of these on something else, different labels, then you can go with the flow, find whatever. So as you can see here, I have taken this one piece, because there's only 3 of these, and you have 3 cards. So to make this look a little fuller, I cut this down about, well, I think it was like right here, 1, 2, 3, about 3 up, and I took a little snips and I went here and here and snipped it. Now this will get tucked in behind your green. So you got your green. Let me get the yellow out again, and your yellow, right? Got your green and your yellow. So when you tape this down, the green, you are only going to tape the 2 sides and the bottom. You're going to leave the top open, because then that allows you to tuck in your green leaves, okay? See how big it is? That's why you can cut it down. So you cut it down, and then you're going to have a little bit here. So this will give you a little bit of a tail to tuck in, and then you're going to take this and you will tuck it over the top. Layer it any way you want, but the back of these leaves are plenty big. So you can't see it on my, let's see, can you see it there? There you go. So use the dimensionals and put dimensionals all around. You can use the mono glue, that's fine. It's probably gonna make it a little more messy, but it might not. Because of my one hand, it's easier to use glue dots, just put it that way, okay? So now that you've got them tucked in, the bottom stem, the bottom of the stem, you don't put any glue dot. You put glue dots on the top of the upper leaves, because then you can stick in your stem and move it. You have some movability if you don't put glue dots on the very bottom. You have movability, kind of put it in, and if you don't press it down too hard, you'll be able to kind of gauge where you can put things and then press down. And you could even put both of them in and press down if you've gone light enough in your setting before pressing down, okay? So then you have your label, put it in the middle, make sure you put something in both sides and the middle to keep it flush. I don't want to say flush, but your dimensionals, the level that you have your dimensional. Then I used the rhinestones. I put 3 on here. So now you've got another card. 3 envelopes, 3 more cards, okay? Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. Just remember it's more of a mango and not a yellow for your card. You can also pick a green too. Okay, this last card. This, I totally loved it. Okay, totally love this card. Okay, so I would go with my the recommendations that I have on the card. I like this look the best, but this is the card that has one side is green and the inside is blue. Okay, so if you want, you can have your background can be, it's going to be like that. Your background can be green or it can be blue. I chose blue. I put it on black cardstock and I think it looks really nice. This could look nice too. It's just a preference. What you're going to do is you're going to take the white label that's in your kit. It has some raised dimension to it, and then you're going to use, there's 2 mountain pieces and you're actually going to put them together and then take the mountain pieces and put on the white. So you cut the envelope the exact same way, right? So you need 5 1/4 by 4. You're going to automatically have 4. So you get 5 1/4 of the blue. Make sure you don't have the gummed part of it. Take your 5 1/4. You'll have quite a bit left of the other stuff. If you want to keep it and do something else, you can. So then you take your 5 1/4 by 4 piece, you put it right flat onto your black cardstock. Then somewhere in the middle is where you're going to put your white raised label. Let's do this again. Put it on top of something black. Your white raised label will go in the middle, or even on the top. There's going to be a little bit of a seam. You can barely see it. What I did is I put the top of my white label along the edge of that seam. That's what I did, but you can't even really see it, to be honest. Then I used glue dots and put my mountain on top of my mountain. Mono glue would work just as well. When you put this on, because there's a raised edge, I put double-faced tape on the back of mine because you need something real sticky to keep it on. Because of the raised part of it, sometimes adhesive on the back doesn't always keep it down as well. So some prefer to use glue when they're doing this particular thing, but that's just because of the raised edge. So you put your white down, then you're going to put your mountain on top. You can kind of put it, you can put it anywhere on there. Put it to one edge, to the other, or kind of in the middle. I chose kind of in the middle. Then I put 3 rhinestones. Looks pretty cool. And when you're putting them on the raised part, you want to try to find a flatter part in there to stick your rhinestone in. Otherwise, it won't stay flush and it may easily knock off. So one thing I did when I put this rhinestone in, I thought, oh, I don't like it there. I wanted to move it down in the middle, right down in the little, part of the mountain. So I went to lift it up. Well, the glue dot part on the back of the rhinestone was already stuck to the cardstock. So the rhinestone came off without the glue dot. So I had to put it back on because I wasn't going to mess with trying to take that glue dot off and have it rip the cardstock. So I had to leave it. So if you're thinking you may want to change where you put your rhinestones, place them real lightly, then press down when you know for sure that's where you want them. Okay, that's kind of a learning curve. So something I did have an extra hang in there. I was not going to put any sentiment on here, but hang in there actually would be quite funny because we're talking about mountains and you hang on the edge of a mountain. Anyway, so that would go good. Of course, I did the full 5 1/2 by 4. No, 5 1/4, excuse me, by 4 to put on the inside. I just find that I like that better. You can choose to stamp something in here. I didn't, but there is like a leafy, well, that's not going to show up there. It's going to show up against the black maybe. There's a leaf. It's not going to work. All right, here we go. Right here, there's like a leaf stamp. You can use that. Here is your herringbone pattern. You could use anything, okay? If you did that, I would not put all of it. I would just put a little bit in the corner. So then I would stamp that before putting it in here because you're gonna go over it. So I would do that. That's quite a cute idea now that I think about it. So I might do that with my other 2 cards. Again, 3 envelopes, you're only going to get 3 cards. So let's go through the count of this again. So you got 3 cards. 3 cards, 6. 3 cards, 9. My count is really good. I might need a calculator. Oh no. So now you've got, let me go backwards. So you got 9. This will make 6. 9 and 6 is 15. Make 6 more. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. I'd use my fingers on that one. 21. Then you get 1, so 22. And you can get 4 of these. If you take the card and make 2 of each card, you can get 4. So 21, 25. Then if you decide to do another one of these instead, then you would knock off 2 off your count. So that would be 23 cards. So that is not a bad amount of cards. That's a good haul. And as you see, I did find different colors. You can go black on all of it, which is what I had was kind of telling everyone to make sure they had black cardstock. But if you don't, there's different colors you can use. As you can see, I found a yellow, this green. I don't even know what color this green is. This is not a current color with Stampin' Up. So I can't tell you anymore. It's an old color and I don't have the label for it anymore. This blue is actually it's from I don't remember what color that blue is either, but that is a Stampin' Up color. All of my cardstock is Stampin' Up. I find it to be the sturdiest and the thickest. Okay, so now when I went into Paper Pumpkin, they do have at the bottom your print off for putting in your card case, or your stamp case is what it really should be. This one actually is for the extra stamp set you get, so I'm going to have to go in and find the one that's for these cards with this stamp set. So what I do is I cut down the paper, you print it, and then I cut it down to fit into my card case. On the inside, I will put my stamps, and then any extra, like here's some extra big pieces. I am going to keep the extra big pieces, and then here was an extra green piece, which I may end up using on a card. So I throw them in, and then here's that marbled piece, or camel piece, and that's where I use the back side for stamping on that one card. Okay, so then I keep this like this, and then the actual Paper Pumpkin that comes with the box that gives you the cards that you can do. What I do is I keep this, fold it in half. If you can see this, I'm folding it in half. Let me move some stuff. Because once you've got it folded in half, okay, it fits right inside. So I keep it so I have reminders of what that is. Now, I always, and you should too, always keep looking on the Stampin' Up site, because once Paper Pumpkin has released the kit, then what it will do is any extra supplies they will put out there, and you can buy the extra. Sometimes you can buy the full entire kit, which includes the stamp set, or you can just buy what they call the refill. So this one is a pretty good one to buy the refill. And so keep your eyes open, because some of these are pretty popular and will go fast. Some of them aren't so, I don't know if they just have extra supply or not, but one of them right now is that Hope Box, which we did a while ago. The Hope Box is at 50% off, so you can get the entire set with the stamp set included. Would be half, so instead of $19.99, it's $9 something. Or you could do just the refill, and that's $5. So I might do that. I might get the refill on that one. So just letting you know everything, and I apologize for all of my extra ums and so's. I tend to do that a lot. I apologize. And I am going to start Stampin' Short by Sherry Borger is gonna kind of be my segue or tag line or whatever you want to call it. And I am going to start making YouTubes and whatever, but I'm going to use Stampin' Short by Sherry Borger. So later on when I tell you go and search, that's what you're going to look for.